plays this game without friends. Unless
Well,
you're
that was
just
me
a
for a
sad.
while.
Yeah, no, that was me too.
That was us for a while until like I found you.
Yeah, you,
Wait, what?
I was gonna say actually. Wait, no,
How do you
found me.
first two meet though?
I was streaming Batman Arkham Asylum, and he joins my stream, and he's like, "Hey, so have you ever considered doing a audio or a motion comic or something like an audio? I can't remember what he said." And I was like, "No, I really haven't." And then he's like, "Oh, like I can't remember exactly what he said. You were like, would you want to do one with me? But obviously you're not gonna be Batman." And then I showed him my Batman voice, and I was like, "Well, fuck."
Yeah, that's not exactly how it went down, but okay.
That was basically how it went.
Alright. Fucking lie right here.
That was how it went. You asked if I was
How was
ever
their side,
planning on doing those.
What's their side, Boone?
So, how I found him was, I was on the internet. Sometimes like I'll get recommended by like really short videos, and I'll watch them just because you know I was a small channel, I like watching small channels. So I was watching his Kevin Conway like question, and like it got like a lot of views, I guess. So it like recommended to me. I was like, okay, like I'll check this guy out. Basically, like I'll watch one video, and then like after I watch that video, I'll just like go around, just like, oh, okay, like look at other videos and stuff, and like I would watch his other videos like as like quick research. So, like I think he's like, oh look guys, I made like 600 like subs or some shit. I was like, okay, cool. But no, I watched that Kevin Conway thing. I was like, okay, cool voice. However, his editing sucks because he didn't remove the audio, and I was like, and that was the thing. I was like, voice rocks, editing sucks. That's how it went down. And then I guess he was streaming and stuff, and I was like, I clicked on it, and I was like, okay, like I like followed along and shit like that. And then I start talking, and I was like, yeah, like you interested in doing like voice work or like audio comics? Because like I was making them back in the day because I was a lot of audio dubs and stuff, and I was working on one with the Batman versus the Batman Laughs, and I was working on that one. I was like, yeah, it's a cool voice, and I was like, the only problem is I don't really have like a lot of other voice actors. I have to do it on my own. It wasn't just like I wasn't against the idea of him being Batman. It was more like I think what happened was like, yeah, I need him for this one project because there's two Batman, and I don't want it to, like I want two different voices like that. So then I was like, and then he did his voice like, oh yeah, it's really good. I mean, I kept using his voice, but I'm thinking of using my voice now because I'm more comfortable doing the voice on my own time at least. I haven't used my voice. I haven't used my voice or Batman voice in a while. I've only done it like when I'm alone or some shit because I'm really embarrassed like doing it in front of people. I get shyness. Like I can't do the voice like we did in front of people. But no, like he did the voice well, and I was like, yeah, like I. Like,
But his editing fucking sucks.
Yeah, like
Has the Batman voice evolved over the years? Who are you talking about?
Are you talking about mine? Because
Yeah.
I mean, we both have evolved. Like the Batman Laughs, especially. That voice has evolved over time. Yeah, like he was streaming and then like,
both. Yeah, both of our voices have kind of.
Let's get this random person out.
Yeah, and then like he was streaming Arkham Asylum, and then like he's like, yeah, you want to join on Discord and we can talk, and then we talked for like 10 hours straight. I mean, we just hit it off like really good because like he was understanding what I was saying, and we're both big fans of Batman. It's just like I guess he haven't met like a really big fan unlike me. Like he hadn't met anyone like me because like he's met fans before like of Batman, but they don't really know like the really rich lore
understand
or, like,
the character.
that too, or like behind the scenes, or just like little tidbits and stuff like, oh, like did you know that this was gonna be in the game, or this thing was gonna happen, or like these really like just fucking like worthless facts, I guess. And I had like so much knowledge, and I read all the like I was
Fucking
reading
knowledge.
most of the comics. I watched all the TV, like the television, the cartoons, and I watched all the anime movies. Well, most of them. There's some anime movies I haven't watched yet, like the 1966 one, Cape Crusader. I think that was shit, and then like some other books, animated movies and shit like that. But no, I don't know. I guess we just hit it off, and he was like, man, you really know your shit. I was like, yeah, I do. Like,
I still hate this guy. Just saying.
yeah, me too. Anyway, it's just
100%.
you know, when I was making this channel, I really wanted to be like the guy who really knew what he was talking about. Like, that's why there's so much Batman content I'm pulling out, or just like I just talk about him because like he's probably the only character I
Probably not many either that does the information videos of Batman like Blue Knight does, but yeah.
Is that your end of the story, Blue Knight?
I guess it is. I don't know. I mean, like he kept on.
Okay, well, in my fairness, what I said was true just from my perspective. But, you know, obviously from him it's going to be different because he's the one who found me. You know, he was stalking my ass, you know?
Wait, what?
Straight up stalking. Yeah,
It
just
wasn't
full on.
stalkerish.
He was stalking. Help. I feel in danger.
I had to like watch his I had watched like a couple of videos and I was like, okay, cool, like this guy likes doing Batman and all that stuff. I don't know if he knows the
Blue Knight's
character.
story sounded heartfelt. Trust me, it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, like, I can talk about Batman, he can kind of understand it. There's some stuff where, like, he doesn't know. Like, I won't talk about comics or, like, the new run of Batman. That's more like me and Serum Lake. Like, we would talk about comics for a while, or, like, Batman Cape Crusader. Like, that's, like, me and Serum Lake's kind of, like, domain and stuff like that. No, but me and Batman share. It's mostly just like, oh, like what's the video coming up, or like Batman news, or just like happening and stuff, and I'll just tell him like, oh yeah, this is happening, or like, yeah. But I don't know. Like he mostly just contacts me of like video ideas or like thumbnails and shit like that, and be like, yep, I'm on the work.
All right, brothers.
I like doing that. I like editing for him, and I like doing thumbnails. I just for this month, I'm gonna be really busy because the 20th anniversary of the Batman cartoon. I'm just like, look, I need to get this done, like, because there's a due date and I want this done. And I'm just like, after September 10th or 11th or whatever, like, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna shift my focus to his thing, because he's got like a lot of videos he wants to do. Like he's already written down like a lot of shit done, and I'm just like, okay, cool, like that's great, because I'm a slow writer. He's a quick writer, and I can edit more. I'm more of an editor guy than a writer.
Basically.
All that stuff. I mean,
my editing has definitely improved, but like it's still not good or great, I guess.
Yeah, it's just I do have a couple of notes of his writing thing, because he mostly goes over his opinions, and I don't have a problem with his opinions. It's more like the structure of his writing. So like, how I would write is like more information. So like he wants to do the Batmobile for Arkham Knight, and I told him to write a little bit more. And like one of the things I wanted to recommend is just like, well, go over the brief history of the Batmobile, because you can talk about like the origin story, and then like how it's evolved over the years, and like and all that stuff. Like I would do something like that, like for the writing thing. Just to like so the audience kind of knows, like, oh, like this is the Batmobile, this is like evolved over the years, and then like more into that.
And I get that, but it's just like that. It's kind of unnecessary, because it's not. We're not really. It's not like the evolution. Now, don't get me wrong. That's a good idea. You know, like talking about the evolution of the Batmobile and all that, and how it's kind of gotten to the point that it's at. But it's just kind of like it doesn't really fit with the video that I was trying to write. If you get my drift, I guess.
I understand that. It's just like,
which video was
for
that?
me? It's just like that's just an upcoming
made
video.
Yet.
It's just he's talking about the Batmobile basically in Arkham Knight.
My thoughts
because,
on it.
Yeah, just okay. So I guess I'll go over. Like recently, he was like, "Yeah, I want to make more like Arkham content." He's like, "But I don't know what to do." I was like, "Well, you can make
And then
discussion
Blue Knight
videos."
gave me like 3 or 4 ideas.
I gave him like 4 ideas. So I'm like, look, you can go over like the history of like Harley Quinn, why she sucks in Suicide Squad. You can go over the
Which
Batmobile.
is exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I just like, yeah, just talk about the Arkham series because there's a lot of stuff you can talk about.
And Blue Knight brought up a good point. He's like, yeah, I know you like doing challenges, but try and focus more on like that, like just talking about the games. I was like, that's a good ass point.
I'm not saying like just not do the fucking
Well, yeah.
challenges. I just like
But
there
challenges I
is
feel like are harder to come up with than just talking about the game.
That's the thing, and I'm just like, well, talk about the games, and then once you're talking about the games, maybe like an idea will like come up in your head. You're like, oh yeah, I can like do this. Like if you're talking about like a certain thing or something.
Can you
could
beat
be like,
Suicide Squad without dying to Harley Quinn as or like without Batman dying to Harley Quinn? No.
you could just do like the Suicide Squad challenge, all that stuff.
Oh right, we're meant to be repairing these fucking gens.
Yeah, it's
Ow,
just,
my ass.
I'm just like, for me, I'm an editor, and I like editing and stuff like that. It's just like the writing thing takes a long time for me to like finish, and when I do finish, it's really good because like I go more in depth about shit like that. And I do think I have like good points and all that shit.
Absolutely not. I'm joking.
Like, I really want Batman in a Chair to get more into the Arkham comics because I've pretty much read most of them. If I'm being honest.
Honestly, I would want like the physical copies of them. That's the thing.
Well, the Omnius like Arkham comics is gonna come out like I think in September this month.
Ooh.
Like you can get them all, man.
I might
Like,
have to pick that up, honestly. Like, I don't care if they're not canon or nothing. I'm just gonna read them.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, there's like
Well,
two
not all of
books
them
where it's
are.
just like okay, this is in like definitely in canon, but you can.
I mean, the clone
I mean,
the
the
Harley, so I guess the challenge is completable.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You can, yeah. I mean, like, you can still read, like, enjoy the comics without it being concerned about being canon and
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's just like, I don't know. If like for me, I'm just like, look, I need to like, as my job and stuff, because like people will always say, is this canon or is this not canon? And I'm like, my first response is, well,
Don't worry, guys. I got it. You dumbass.
Like, it doesn't need to be
speedrunning.
canon. Like, just because it isn't canon doesn't mean it isn't good. Like, especially
Yeah.
the Arkham Knight comics, like they were really good, but they're not canon. They're just not. I'm sorry to tell you, they're not. There's
Oh, yeah,
too many
no.
like inconsistencies. But there were some good issues I really liked reading back then. But for me as a job, I'm like, look, I need to know if it's canon or not canon. So like,
Yeah.
so like the ones that are canon are the Arkham Asylum one and the Arkham City one. Those two are written by Paul Dini. Paul Dini.
Yeah.
Asylum and City, and I'm just like,
Fine.
well, that's definitely canon. And then like if there's a book, I think it's Batman Arkham City Unhinged. I think that's what it's called. Now the interesting thing about that book is that it directly ties into the Arkham City stories for the Riddler challenges. So like if you complete
yeah.
the Riddler stuff, like it's
Yeah,
a
the
direct
little
adaptation.
stories.
Like the comic book is a direct adaptation from the stories, basically. And I found that really interesting. So I'm just like, oh, this must be canon. And then there's some issues. There's a couple more issues
I'm
later
changing my
where I
gear,
read it.
hold
It's
on.
like, ooh, that can't be canon because this never happened. Because like at one point he talks to Nightwing. Like this happens between like when you're trying to find Mr. Freeze and stuff. Like the first time you're trying to find Mr. Freeze, basically, where like you tell Alfred like, oh, you're poisoned. You had to find Mr. Freeze's lab, basically. That's where it takes place, and I'm just like, well, that can't be canon because like it's like Nightwing, like we never talked to him. And then there's a book where like the Tiger Guards break into Wayne Manor, basically.
Yeah.
And they try to.
Wouldn't that have tied into the map, like the challenge maps?
Yeah, like the challenge maps, but I'm just like, that can't be canon because like, well, Alfred still talks to you, and shit like that, and
Wait,
they never
didn't get to the Batcave.
Yeah, but like they never mention of like no one mentions anyone like, oh, the Batcave has been compromised, just like challenge maps, and I'm just like, well, that can't be canon, or maybe it is canon. It's just like it takes place really weird because like Robin's there, Nightwing is there, like they're both there. I'm just like, okay, like why is no one calling like Robin especially? I'm just like, aren't you like supposed to be at hospitals checking the Joker's blood? Why are you here, basically? I mean, there was, and then that's where the canonicity kind of ends. After that, the other books are just like, oh, they're trying to be like canon, but it's not canon. So like Arkham City Endgame, that's not canon because Arkham Knight, Jim Gordon states that it's been quiet for like 9 months, nothing's been happening. In Arkham City, a lot of stuff happens, and then the Arkham Knight books, which is just like Arkham, like it's Arkham City Endgame, but like remastered basically, because the art in Arkham City is so, I don't want to say bad, but like really hard to understand. Where like the city, the Arkham Knight one is like more understandable. I can't like the art in that book. I can't like the best way I can describe it to you is like Greg Capullo did the artwork, but it's not Greg Capullo. So that's probably why I enjoy it more, because like it reminds me of Greg Capullo art. So I'm just like, oh yeah, this art's really good.
Fair enough.
When writing a book, I don't think they take canon.
Capullo is awesome with the art, bro.
Well, it's more like the thing is with like the comic books and all that stuff, and like the try to tie into media is that the comic book and the game industry, there's no communication at all. There's just like DC just tells them to like write a book or something, and they'll do the best they can with like try to connect the universe basically, but there's no communication. This happened with cartoons too. Like BTAS had like tie-in comics. Some of them are canon, but not all of them, because they said it. They had no like they didn't talk to the creators. They're two separate creators working on the same thing, and that's not good.
Yeah, no.
I don't blame like the artist or like the writer for this stuff, because I'm just like, I bet they wanted to, but it's just like there's no communication at all. Like if Rocksteady told them like what they were going to do, I bet they would like change the story a lot.
That better be the end.
They didn't do that. But yeah, going the Knight comic, like a lot of stuff happens in that book, and I'm just like, that can't, like, I'm sorry, what Jim says, and like I'm taking that as like canon. Like you have to take the games as like canon first before anything else. Like comics second, games come
there's
first.
probably some fucking shit back. Yeah.
I mean, will there be like sometimes like there would be like inconsistencies and stuff like that, and I'm like, that's
because like, and another thing is like something like the Arkham Asylum bios were rendered non-canon.
Oh yeah, there's a way. Wait, oh wait, no, there's some chests down here. Right. Is that the end of the story?
No, there's more. There's so much stuff. Like
My
I can make
God.
this. I can make this. Dude, okay, I'm just saying this right now.
This could be like hours long.
I can make this whole thing into a video.
Yeah, I'm just saying this right now. I can make this a whole video, and I can go rambling on and on and on about this, because I've had this thought for years, and I haven't really talked to anyone about this before.
Yeah, no.
I mentioned it a little bit, because like the only reason I'm talking more because someone asked me a question. I was like, yeah, I'll just talk about it, because like no one's really talking.
Yeah, because something, you know, because like, and something can be rendered non-canon pretty easily. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. Because like, here's the thing, you know, you have the Arkham Asylum bios that were made before something like Arkham City. Whenever Arkham City happens, you're not gonna render Arkham City non-canon. You're just gonna have to render the bios non-canon. What's up with people talking about Ratcatcher's race swap? I don't know.
Does it really matter? I mean, it's fucking Ratcatcher. Who cares? Who gives a
literally,
fuck?
I think we've literally only seen his skin for the Arkham games one time, and it was in one of the comics. I think it was an Arkham Knight comic.
You're thinking Knight, which is why it's not canon, because like, okay, he's alive, and I think he died in City, if I remember correctly.
No, he died in a Knight comic.
No, I mean like, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, he can't appear in the Knight book because like he died in City, or like the bio states that. If I remember
Well,
correctly.
no, he didn't die. That's the thing. He didn't die in City. He was thrown into Tiny's pit, you know, like the shark, but he managed to survive. And that's why in the comics he's missing like, I think he was like missing an arm and an eye.
Spyro, are you getting like annoyed with me for like talking this long?
Sorta, but it's okay though.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'll quickly wrap up my thoughts. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, he ended up surviving, so.
I can make this whole thing
That's
into like
why.
a video. Oh my god.
Just Batman in a chair and
I
mainly
can't-
Blue Knight ramble on about Arkham canonicity or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
And how they
Like-
first met.
No one cares about that one.
Yeah,
no one cares.
yeah, definitely.
You really want to just make this into a video, and you're just like you're thinking about the editing process because there's so much like fucking
Oh,
shit I'm
this
talking.
stuff. Yeah, this stuff. Yeah.
Basically.
Look, can you?
But yeah, Arkham canon's very weird when you think of it.
The thing is with the Rocksteady universe, with the Arkham stuff, is that they
It doesn't really matter. I don't know why people are ranting on. Oh, the race swap. Yeah, it's weird.
That was with the Penguin thing, the gender swap, and I was like, who
Oh
cares?
yeah, for Caped Crusade.
Like,
It
'cause-
doesn't fucking matter.
Because my thing is like, okay, like, because I'm just like, okay, are you reading the like Tom King's Penguin run right now? I'm telling you right now, no one gives a fuck about the Penguin. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Penguin.
I'm just
Even though he's getting his whole ass show.
yeah. But yeah, to quickly wrap up my thoughts about the canonicity of the Arkham games.
He's absolutely not wrapping up. It's gonna go on for another 2 hours.
This is the final thing. That's
We're
if
10
like
more
I don't
minutes.
get this isn't if like I have like if I don't like think about like other stuff or like nothing's happening and like no one interrupts me, then I can like finish my thoughts. But,
yeah, run.
one last thing. Like the thing is
Someone's
with
running.
the thing is with Rocksteady's like Batman universe or when they were starting out is that they didn't really have a plan. Like their
Yeah.
first thought was like make a good Batman game. That was their main objective. I mean, it's just
And
like,
it did
you
it
have to
almost
remember-
perfect.
Then again, they also did want to make something like Arkham City,
And they
like
did.
off the bat.
And I've said this before, and I'll say this again. When Arkham Asylum came out, Batman had just turned 70 years old. That game was to celebrate Batman's 70th like long history of comics, movies, television, all of that stuff, and that was packed into one game. That's why Arkham Asylum
Action
like,
figures.
has. Yeah,
That's
that's
what I like
why.
action
That's why
figures.
so many people like Renaissance with Arkham Batman because it's like anime because it's every Batman because you feel a little of like Adam West, you feel a lot of the animated series. It's like the animated series, but like the restrictions are pulled off. It's like mature audience more
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And like there's every Batman. So like when Bane
That's something for
like
everyone.
when you're fighting Bane mentions Nightfall. That was a direct like reference to the Nightfall
Yeah.
storyline basically. And that's what they were doing.
Off
They were
topic,
just
kind
making
of like how Bruce Timm said that Batman doesn't have any good female villains, so that's why they gender swap Penguin. That is stupid.
I don't like his reasoning. I'll say that.
Like, I don't care about the actual action of swapping his gender, but the reasoning behind it is stupid.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Like, bro, he has like Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. Well, Harley Quinn appeared, but still, like, it's just so dumb.
Does Catwoman
Yeah,
count
but-
though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Voila.
Hold on.
Yeah, but with the Asylum, there were so many references. Like Catwoman was referenced, Ratcatcher was referenced, Maxi Suit was referenced,
Jack,
Prometheus
no.
was referenced. There was
No,
a lot
Jack,
of like
No.
more rich stories, lines, and a lot of stuff. So like
I paid for the-
Nightfall,
it's not
Nightfall had happened like before and a lot of stuff. Like Nightfall
What?
had happened in that Arkham Asylum universe. I'm just going.
Damn,
on.
fair enough.
Like just like the amount of references that game has in Arkham Asylum, and then when they made Arkham City, they try
Bro,
to
they
make it.
even brought up, like, you know, obscure ass people like Humpty Dumpty, Tweedledum and Tweedledee, bro. Like, what the fuck? I had no clue who those villains were until fucking Arkham Asylum.
But when Arkham City came out, that was more like that's when Rocksteady finally like, okay, let's make our
Had
own
the plan.
Batman basically, and all that stuff. Like that was their like, okay, this is our lore, this is our story. That's when like when
I
they
thought you
killed the
just
Joker.
said this is our lord. I was like, what?
Lore.
DC's
like,
our
lore.
lord. Yeah, I know you
Lore.
meant lore, but it sounded. I genuinely thought you said lord.
I do have a speaking disorder. Whatever.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It wasn't like you said it wrong. It was just me genuinely like mishearing you. I was like, what the fuck?
What?
Blue and I should just have a podcast. I would listen for hours on. Yeah.
Definitely.
I would need someone to be with me because I can't be by myself talking.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
I would probably join you. Cause dude.
Are we done with the conversation now?
Oh yeah, we were
I
meant
was
to.
finishing up my thoughts.
Yeah, I told you
when
we were going
Arkham-
for like.
So
what?
when Arkham City came out, that was like okay, like this is our own thing, you know, because like Asylum was very like they were trying to tie in, like they were being very safe. So like look at the Insomniac universe, that's really their own Spider-Man. But when you look at the Arkham verse, it's like it's Batman, but it's not really their own Batman. It wasn't until like maybe City and Night that's when it was like its own thing basically. Like that's when they formed the identity and all that stuff, and that's when they started creating more lore and more backstory. So like Arkham Origins came out, and it was like, oh, the Nightfall storyline didn't really happen. It sort of happened. There was some influence.
20 minutes later.
Yeah, it didn't really happen.
All right, we're done.